Okay, well, actually, we didn't rehearse this. This is 100% impromptu. Maybe I'll just start by asking a question to both Nicole and Kerwin. What were the biggest key takeaways from today's sessions?
So I think it's working. So I think from my side, the biggest takeaways was firstly a lot of innovation with AI and how we can use AI. Another takeaway was that Karen lost. That will be bad for you, Karen. It wasn't, I was counting, so definitely a loss. In terms of what people are doing with utilizing also the AltoVita system. So I really like how it can be integrated, how it can be utilized, how you can also create all of the other housing providers' stock within one system. And I really liked Berna's innovation on well-being. I thought that's fantastic, and I'm sure the team and you put a lot of time into that, I can imagine, to make that work. So overall, really a lot of learnings, and I want to say, Vivi and Karolina, from my side, you've done an outstanding event. You always do an outstanding event, and it's so nice to see your journey and to see where you started with your £7 on GoDaddy and where you've got to. And I'm really happy with your progress. So I've used AltoVita from when I was in Wayfair heading up mobility. And I thought, okay, I don't know who they are actually. I think Benivo introduced me to AltoVita, and I took a chance on you. And they did an outstanding job. Then when I was in JLL, they did a fantastic job again. And they're always authentic. And I think it's a testament to what this summit shows. It is authentic, which is what they are.
Thank you, Nicole. Before I pass the mic over to Kerwin, I just wanted to actually thank you from our deepest hearts to AltoVision team. Honestly, I mean, Karolina and I, we used to put a lot of hours and efforts ourselves into these events. But over the years, the team has taken over. I think they believe in the vision, they feel empowered. And so actually, I didn't do anything other than preparing for my presentation. So thank you so much, everybody, and a special gratitude to Joy. As you know, we're incredibly proud of Joy. She was one of our marketing managers last year, and our marketing manager last year resigned, and Joy put her hand up. What if I become the interim marketing director? You know what? We love motivating people. So we said, yes, take the job. She said, give me 3 months. And she did it. She delivered our Innovation Summit in 24 herself, as she has done herself as well this year in New York. So. And of course, to all the moderators, so Jess, Beverly, Alex, Carrie. Wow, it was a brilliant panel, wasn't it? It was her first ever, by the way, and I think we were all blown away. I think today was already Tom's 5th or 6th. He just gets better and better. He's a natural. So again, thank you so much to all AltoVisions. Again, Nicole, to your point, it really is no longer just Vivi and Karolina anymore. It's the whole team.
Just one more point to the discussions we had today. It was all about authenticity. So thank you so much for, I've heard it many times, for not being so PC on the panel and for really being so honest, showing us the good and the bad of both business travel and global mobility world. So thank you so much for that. It was really unique. Kerwin, over to you.
Over to you.
Thank you. It feels like I'm buffering for a while to process all of these. So now I'm ready with my 3 messages, 3 takeaways. So number 1 for me was, you hear a lot about the specifics, tangible stuff, concrete, stuff that you put to market, success, wins, all of those. But for me, the takeaway, I will forget about all of those, Alto Core, I don't know. But what a clear takeaway is, number 1, is the culture of the both of you, the culture of the company, the DNA of the company. And that, for me, represents a few things. how the pace, the speed that you've moved from curiosity. You got curious because we were in a workshop. Somebody was doing that. That was wow. Can I move that to execution and do something about that? Number one. Number two, in terms of DNA for me was I heard a lot of examples and stories where the motivation was coming from listening to my customers first. What do you want? What can we do for you? And then try to build something out of that. And then being able to be comfortable with failing fast, learning from those failures, and then being able to improve and then be better for everybody else. So I've heard a lot of those examples. And for me, that's one of my biggest takeaway in terms of who you are as a company and how you've grown. Number two takeaway for me is from the last session, and I've seen several other examples where I've seen, again, RMC, temp living, we've seen several other examples, heard examples earlier, where, again, good about our ecosystem, when there's an acknowledgement that you share custody of the same corporate customer, don't bring me in the middle of managing all of these conversations and flows and traffic. Go get your whatever done, and then you share custody of me. And then that's how we become more successful. And I think you've been able to do that. Again, part of that culture, customer centered, but understanding how you get to work with the other ecosystem providers, whether it's a DSP or an RMC, you share custody of us. Don't make us manage those traffic lanes. And then for me, number three, I heard a lot of other stories and lunch and everywhere else. A lot of familiar faces, people, because I trace, similar to Nicole, I trace my history with AltoVita 2020, 21. You were a very different company. And for me, it wasn't, again, we didn't do an RFP. It wasn't a big deal for me to be able to tell you again, yes, you can earn your way to our program. We'll start with this, earn your way, expand, 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 and every win allowed you more territory, and then eventually global stuff. And I've met a lot of other leaders who've started with that spirit, with say, let's try you out for this, and maybe if you get to win and then we give you more. I love that because for me, my takeaway for that is as mobility leaders, corporate heads in the room today, I learned this very late in my career that, again, we're in a position of privilege. We are in a position that allows us, again, for me, I will not get fired, hopefully. I won't get fired if I grant you a small piece of my business, allow you to test that. If you fail, then you fail. My job's not on the line. It doesn't mean a lot to me if you fail or if you succeed, but it gives you a lifeline. It changes the trajectory of that company. And I want the corporate leaders in the room today to know that you have that power, you have that gift. Don't waste that. We are in a position where we can make a difference for others. Don't go through procurement, all of those stuff. Try them out. It's easy. Corporate directed, don't make it difficult. Don't complicate it. We can do that. So in our program, in our again, what we've done, culture, advocacy, mission, all of those, we've started to onboard women-owned, women-led, women, etc., or veterans. So figure out what your why is, what your advocacy is. There's a lot of ways to make this, our society, or everything else better. You're in a position of power to do that. That's it. Three
But
takeaways.
just to add on that, actually, so having used probably all of the temporary accommodations, like we all have, through our RMCs, you've tried them all. I can hand on heart say, and an example from JLL, AltoVita is the only one to put their hand up and say, I made a mistake. Actually, I did make a mistake, and this is how I fixed it. And this is how it will never happen again. And in stark contrast to a different provider who didn't admit to the mistake they made, and it became torturous. So I think for me, when I select vendors, and we all do it. We select vendors for the people. Like, we have to be honest. We select them for the people that they are. But select the vendors that are going to come and be honest and put their hands up, because there will always be mistakes in every place. And I wish that I had temporary accommodation like AltoVita's. When I moved from the UK to Dallas with the Big Four, we arrived on New Year's Eve with no food and everything was shut with a baby and a young child. And actually, luckily, we'd bought a house off Skype because the next day we moved to our house. So actually, Vivi, we moved. We were like, enough, we're out.
Love that. Love those examples because it triggers a lot of memories where AltoVita made our program, and by extension me, look good in front of my stakeholders. And I just took all the credit, didn't tell them it was AltoVita. So specifics, again, imagine what we got them through, all of Russia closure, moving people to Kazakhstan, and oops, by the way, we had all of those plans, and then this conscription, whatever announcement happened, and every plan, yeah, didn't work. So they had to do that, exiting via 5 different borders, working with security to do all of those, Ukraine exit, moving into opening up new locations in India, not Bangalore, but tier 2, tier 3 cities. They managed all of that. They did things that I didn't even know about. They engaged with talent acquisition directly. New hire start date change. Can we add more? Can we do this? And oops, by the way, if I change this, can you retain the same rate? And then they started hosting social evenings with new hires. And I didn't know that until people started sharing pictures from those events. I didn't know. And then, of course, when I knew, I took credit. I told them to do that. And those social nights, yes, I did. I'm a team player like that. Somebody needs to score. Everybody else, yeah. So they did that. And then we were later on, because again, taking the credit's important, we started labeling that as pre-boarding. So you can get the money, you can pay for your own temp living, but you will be excluded from all of these other stuff, where they get now to invite HR, get to invite the business leader to come in and greet people before day one. So now we're not selling homes and beds, we're selling culture and something else. Then how do you compare that with value versus cost? So a lot of those, several other examples that they've done for us. And again, it's all about just empowering them, letting them go play. And the biggest difference, the people that you get to work with, for me, again, I've been a buyer for a lot, and Susie knows this. I don't get to call up, I'm screening out the names, their competitors and be able to tell them, oh, I need you to be on standby weekend, etc. But I text Vivi and Karolina, things happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much to both of you. I just wanted to highlight again what Kerwin was saying earlier regarding the ecosystem. Earlier this year, we had a leadership offsite. In there, we presented to our leadership team that the technology landscape is changing. The speed, the velocity, as explained earlier, is no longer years. It's now months, if not weeks or days, right? You can kind of clone Airbnb, you can clone Spotify, you can clone any technology now like this. Of course, it's not perfect. Maybe it's not connected to database or server and so on and so forth. But that's the reality. And so the challenge that we give to ourselves, are we going to get left behind? Or are we going to be even faster than our competition, that they will be left behind? And my point here is that the technology is just going to evolve much quicker than we can ever imagine. So then what is our key differentiator? What is our moat, essentially? I just want to say that you are all our moats. The ecosystem that we have built over the years has become our moats, because this cannot be replicated and expedited by AI.
And again, everybody can buy and everybody can build, and speed can be given.
Yeah.
But again, we need to acknowledge the challenges in our ecosystem, their mobility community. There are RMC players, and RMCs at times, again, good intentions maybe, they restrict access to some of their ecosystem players to us corporates, or they make it difficult for us. They put in terms in those language in our MSAs that prevents us from being able to do client-directed, etc. So a lot of stuff happens, and we support business from everybody, but again, my appeal to the community, again, there's probably space for everybody to be successful. I understand, because Vivi tells me some of that, and Anindita tells me some of that, how difficult it is to get into some of those panel of providers, how difficult it is to get an MSA with an RMC. I'm sorry to the RMC folks, but there are those anti-competitive practices. Again, as mobility leaders, corporate heads, we are in a position to not just make choices, etc., cost, but you actually have a voice to start to change all of these for industry, to be better for small business owners, for people to come in to this space and be successful.
One more point, talking about RMC as such a favorite topic during this session. We were so grateful to rediscover a forgotten customer within the RMC framework, and those are actually the relocation consultants. As you've heard from the session on AltoCore with Tom, relocation consultants are actually doing so much incredible work, and they have to be the psychologists, they need to be the experts, they need to be so many things at the same time. And I just wanted to say that the ability to co-design a product that is the right fit for the relocation consultants was certainly one of the highlights of this year for us. And we're extremely thankful as well to NEI over there for embarking on this journey, allowing us to speak to the relocation consultants and allowing us the opportunity to co-create together, because those people are just invaluable. So thank you.
Well, I guess we could ask the audience as well if there have been notable key takeaways that you're so dying to speak up.
Yes, Anindita.
Mike?
I will go to you.
Oh.
Thank you. No, thank you. I think I voiced this with a few people in the room over lunch. I've had the privilege of being in this global mobility space for at least 3 decades. Let's keep it that way. I started early, but I am floored. I've been to many conferences, had the privilege of speaking in a few. I'm floored at the product that you guys have created and the team behind you. I mean, Joy is amazing, so I don't want to take everybody by name, but you know who you are. As women-owned, I can feel your pain and your passion. I was talking to your financial dad of sorts, the gentleman here. I didn't get a chance to tell you, but I felt like a business owner. I wanted to compliment him on trusting you and giving you guys a chance. And he sees the return in all of us, who I think I echo everybody's feeling today towards the end of the session, that you guys have worked so hard to build a product that is light years away from any competition. And thank you, Kerwin, for mentioning that it's just a matter of one chance that people need if you're the smaller. And just to end with this comment that the best testament to how we have all done our jobs, no matter whether it's the RMCs, whether it's the corporates, whether it is what hat you wear, is that talent, that employee, that human being, if he wants to relive the same experience with the same collection of partners, that's when you know if that's a thumbs up, then you've done a fantastic job. And they'll be back to continue.
Thank you. You are welcome. I'll take credit for the concepts and the design as well.
The only thing that I wanted to say is that it's not only to have a great brand, a great product, it's also to be genuine and to have such a passion for what you do and to be able to create connections. Because at the end of the day, yes, we love the work that you do. We are amazed by the technology, but everything, but the connections that you make with the people is at the end of the day what matters the most. And you are amazing doing connections and being genuine with people.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Jose started only this year. You gave them your business this year, so thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So you asked a question, what is a key takeaway from today? I've had the extraordinary privilege of spending many years working with and knowing Kerwin. And Kerwin spends a lot of time talking about knowing your why. And I think what today said to me was, it's not just your why, it's your why not and your what if. And I think your company has been so successful on, what if we did this? What if we right? What if? Why not, right? And because of that fearless approach to product enhancement and growing your capabilities, I think that's the outshining everybody else that Kerwin was referencing. And I'm going to be really terrible, and I'm probably going to make enemies in the room, and I'm sorry, but imagine if all of the RMC partners that are in this room operated from a position of why not and what if instead of fear.
Well, I'm not in mobility, so I learned a lot today from all these mobility colleagues in the room here. But I think the one thing, the takeaway I had, even though I am part of procurement, but I'm not the bad procurement like some people. Procurement gets a bad rap, and I think I really do believe it's evolving. But I know at least procurement at J&J is about the customer experience. It's about our travelers' experiences, and it's not always about just cost savings, right? I think it's about the creation of value, and that's the direction that we've been getting at J&J. And I think if more of the mobility people in the room would work with their travel managers and try to have a more cohesive strategy, I think you get more out of economies of scale, right? And I think if the mobility people work with travel, then you could both take advantage of the AltoVita universe and all this technology and the great customer experiences. And I know we all kind of work in silos, and most of the mobility does not work with procurement, but I think there's a really big benefit to working with procurement. And I think if you just kind of give it a shot, you might be surprised. So.
I love that. I think it's a...
Anne from J&J, anything? I'm just hosting this open mic. Yes.
You can sing next. Really quick observation. Mike McGee from the Alto Partners. So first, a huge thank you for having and hosting this. I'll admit I'm a newcomer to being indoctrinated to the AltoVita approach. I was kind enough to be invited by a client and spent the day. But I think what really resonated with me, and which I see more clearly now, is that we've all said, people that sat down at 25 years or around that time, we've all said that mobility is ripe for disruption. There are too many manual processes. There are too many old ways, too many why nots. And it is clearer now, whether it's because of overall technology or specific AI, that there is room for new players to take a fresh look. And the next 20 years are not going to be like the last 20 years in terms of who wins. And I think this has been really eye-opening, so thank you.
Anyone else?
Mike, Vialto, let's go to the prequel of that. Anybody from PwC? We're good? No prequel. We're good? Charles, we met him in Zurich last month. Impression so far? Open mic?
Yeah, open mic. Yeah, so I've been in this role officially since June of this year. So I was seconded from the Portland, Oregon office to move to Zurich. So I am a newcomer to the mobility space in general. I have some light immigration experience, and I was just kind of given a problem to solve. And the problem set is make the experience better for our employees. I've been kind enough to be connected with the whole team here at AltoVita. They solved a really big problem for us very quickly without a contract. So there's a lot of trust already there. I think they're helping to drive a better experience and help us think about this overall. And I think we saw that today with the technology, the partnerships, the location. And then I think they're going to help us expand and grow and create a really good experience. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I work for On Running. So if you got any questions about shoes, I'm here.
Did you bring free shoes for everyone?
Really cool stuff. He gave the whole room 20% off
No.
when we did an event in Zurich. That's real. 20%, right? That's he gave us, yes.
Any last comment whatsoever? No one? Okay, well, Karolina, do you want to
Okay, I just wanted to reference Berna one more time because I think what she said during her panel was extremely powerful. Berna said, customization is not a luxury anymore, which beautifully references to what Susie just said, which is the what if. And this is precisely how we approach things. And today I'm so excited because I've heard so much shopping-related inventory and vocabulary, and also wellness-related inventory that this is precisely what we wish for the employees when they move from New York to Singapore, is that they will have, through our services, access to the right well-being. They don't need to be ashamed to ask for it. They don't need to be stressed out that they won't get to their gym, or they won't get to their yoga class, or they won't get the view that they want or the garden that they want. They can ask for it, and they should be feeling good about it and not be entitled to be labeled the employee diva. I think times are changing and people are changing, and this is essentially what we want to translate into our product.
Well, as a concluding slide, we wanted to revisit the survey because we now have a spill. Yes, exactly. Please have a look. So we're going to do this live. So thank you so much to those who participated in the survey. Let's see. Oh, harmony! Ooh. Woohoo! Ah. She's here.
Over there. Okay. Congratulations.
That's a well-deserving winner. Thank you so much, Harmony. I honestly enjoyed your panel so much. One of my favorites today. And thank you so much for the support, for really challenging the team, AltoVita technology in general, and for your input to co-develop your program and our technology as well. So looking forward to actually chatting with you shortly later. So Joy will be in touch with you on Monday to give you the voucher to the Amazon.
And if one final before you close,
Yes.
On behalf of a grateful community, really congratulations for all the success. Thank you for being the symbol of and the inspiration for a lot of people in the room in terms of what you've been able to get through and be successful, all the adversity you went through. I've seen all of that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for trusting us, for giving us the opportunity to demonstrate our capabilities back in, I think, January 2021, really. And Nicole as well for giving us the opportunity to prove ourselves from Wayfair to JLL to where you are today. So I'm so super grateful as well for our investors. As I mentioned, I knew Brandon since I was, I think, 19 years old. And when he graduated, he joined Microsoft in 2004, right? So it's been 21 years? Yeah, 21 years. So I went to Seattle a few years ago in September 2022 with the hope of meeting Juan Carlos. So I flew to Seattle from New York without securing a meeting. I had contacted him on LinkedIn. He sort of responded, but not committed. I mentioned that to Brandon. Brandon, I'm going to meet your colleague. His name is Juan Carlos. And he went, oh, he's on my floor. So let me swing by and see if he's available. And then Brandon put a meeting on his calendar. And that... And that's how I met Juan Carlos. He was sort of choreographed by Brandon. And we had lunch. He gave me a tour of Microsoft campus, which was fabulous. And I wasn't pitching anything to him. I just was telling him what happened to my life over the past 20 years. And somehow he saw the passion and he brought in a group of, I think, 15 to 20 investors altogether invested about $1.5 million into AltoVita over the past 2 years. So super grateful for all of your trust in me and Karolina. When we were nothing, we had some vision, some product, maybe not fully baked, and we're still baking until today, right? And let's continue to co-design because, like I said, the technology landscape is changing. It's not about the tech anymore. The tech can be created like this. It's the ecosystem that will continue to become our moat.